Pittsburgh sneaks into the playoffs. Some thought Buffalo might have to sneak in. They're a division champion. Pittsburgh is at Buffalo. AFC playoffs. We discuss it next on DJ Football. All right, it is playoff time in the AFC. Pittsburgh is at Buffalo. Steelers, Bills. We'll discuss it right now on DJ Football, presented by MyBookie.ag. Code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag gets you that sign-on bonus. You can use it once and win with it. It is yours and yours forever. MyBookie.ag. Code NEXTROUND for that sign-on bonus. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. AFC playoff cold weather games with Miami at Kansas City. Steelers at Buffalo. You got to love this, DJ.
Oh, it's awesome, man. It's what it's supposed to be. And, we talk about all the different storylines in these games. And this one, everything on the surface points so drastically in one direction. I wonder if we're not in for maybe a little bit of a surprise here, at least this being a little more competitive than people think.
I thought you were going to say maybe a little bit of a blowout. So let's get to it with the road team, Pittsburgh. That is the team that is a 10-point underdog for the early CBS kick on Sunday. 10-point underdog at Buffalo. The elephant in the room with Pittsburgh is maybe the most impactful injury of the entire postseason. And it was a friendly fire injury. I mean, it's just, you hate to see those with Watt.
Yeah, you lead the league in sacks, and you get back into the tournament. Would love to see him play in this game to see what he could do. And, man, that's a huge loss for them. Now, it sounds like there's a miracle chance if somehow they could extend the postseason here and win a couple games, that maybe that's not all the way ruled out. But, man, you hate to see that. But I'm telling you, Ryan, the more I look at this game and the more everybody says this is going to be a blowout, everything points to Buffalo. All the stats, they're 7-1 at home.
Yep.
They've won 5 straight. The Steelers lose their best player. The Steelers have a quarterback that nobody outside the building has any confidence in Mason Rudolph. And I'm telling you, man, I sit back and I look at this thing and I go, okay, let's look a little closer at Buffalo. Let's just look a little bit closer. I know we'll get to Pittsburgh here, but when you look at Buffalo, you look at their last games, 24 points, 27 points, 21 points, 14 of which came on offense last week, and 7 via the kick return. So it's not like they're putting up all these points. And to me, if I'm Pittsburgh, I hope it snows. I hope it's windy. I hope it's wet. I'm going to play with my 2 tight ends. I'm going to play with an extra offensive lineman, and we're going to try and crank up this run game and shrink this game against Josh Allen and the Bills.
So one of the reasons they only scored 14 offensive points was Josh Allen and his decision-making.
Turnovers,
Yeah, the turnovers. Now, one of those turnovers, one of the 2 interceptions he threw, probably, that was a ball you kind of had to throw up for grabs in that situation. But the one down on the goal line, he threw to Eli Apple, just a terrible pass. And then right at the end of the half, throwing the ball in the field of play with no timeouts is just inexcusable. Now, it was close to a touchdown, but it wasn't a touchdown. Clock runs out. Minimum, that's 6 points that you cost your team right there.
Yeah, but, at the end of the day, you didn't get it done. So, whether or not that's Josh Allen stubbing his toe and making mistakes, or whether that's a defense that's slowing him down, yards don't matter. They sure as heck don't matter in the playoffs. And, Mike Tomlin is going to have that group ready to go. They've got some good young players on defense, outside of TJ Watt that they lost. Look, I get it. Everything still points towards Buffalo. They're the better team. But there's something about a team that nobody believes in and nobody gives them a chance. What the heck do the Pittsburgh Steelers have to lose in this thing?
No, they don't have anything to lose. They had to beat Baltimore. Baltimore's resting everyone in week 18 to get into the playoffs. One thing in that game they struggled to do, though, was get the ball in the hands of George Pickens. And they tried a lot of stuff. They handed it to him. They tried to throw it to him, but that was a little bit of a struggle. Was that Baltimore's defense, or was it just Mason Rudolph not having the timing with George Pickens, do you think?
Well, it wasn't 80 and sunny outside either.
That's true.
That was a big part of it as well. But, yeah, Baltimore was going to take him away. They were going to shade over the top of him. And, that's the formula. He's got to be involved. Got to be more involved in this one if they're going to win this ball game. But if Buffalo's going to score 21, 24 points, George Pickens is capable in 2 plays of getting you 14. So that he's got to factor in. He's got to provide some big plays for them. But more than that, I think, man, it is a combination of those 2 backs. It is an offensive line that since they put Broderick Jones into the starting lineup, the rookie out of Georgia, he's really kind of gassed up this run game a little bit. So they've got to get those backs going, and then they have to pay that off. Mason Rudolph, buddy, as far as you can throw it, pal. You are throwing it, because we're not gonna worry about you converting 4 third downs for us to go down and score points. We're gonna run the ball, and we got to hit some home runs.
So if you're Mike Tomlin, I mean, one way to do this is maybe take it out of Mason Rudolph's hands early, try to shrink the game and see if you can dominate with Najee Harris in that run game, shrink the game a little bit on the road.
Yeah, and see if Josh Allen throws you one or two. You
Right.
know, like that's their formula. You know, it's a narrow road they have to travel to win this game. But it involves, hey, red zone defense, buckling down. Buffalo's going to move the ball between the 20s as they do every week. But can you buckle down the red zone? Can you take one or two away? Can you run the ball offensively? And can George Pickens, maybe it's Deontay Johnson, but more than likely George Pickens, can you get two to three home runs in this game? That's it. That's the formula.
More on Buffalo in just one moment. A reminder, DJ Football is presented by MyBookie.ag. Code next round when you sign on at MyBookie.ag to get that sign-on bonus. You can use it right away. You win once with it. It is yours and yours forever. That is code next round at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Code next round. Right now, Buffalo, as we record this, a 10-point favorite in this game over Pittsburgh at MyBookie.ag. Also, Manscaped.com brings you the show. I've got the handyman right here. This is the compact razor. Good anywhere, though. It's not just travel, but it is so easy to travel with. They've also got the beard hedger. Playoffs are over in fantasy football, so get rid of that playoff beard. Either get rid of it or trim it down with that beard hedger. It's got 20-plus dial-up settings on that guard. You don't have to pop guards on and off. It's great. You can also use the weed whacker, which takes care of the nose hair and the ear hair, and the lawnmower. It takes care of the full body, including the undercarriage. Great boxer shorts and male body products. Manscaped.com. And because you watch DJ Football, code DJF20. It gets you 20% off DJF20 at Manscaped.com. Buffalo, DJ, is not without injuries of their own. That Buffalo-Miami game, it was every other play a guy was going off the field for either Buffalo or Miami. That is a banged-up team as well.
Yeah, it's a team. It's interesting. Both these teams coming off of a week where everything was on the line and they had to put everything they had into it. So a little bit taxing there. But we'll see as you get closer to game time, what that impact is on Buffalo in terms of getting guys out there, getting them ready to play. But man, it's this is a team that from where they were when we had that conversation on this show, when those articles came out about Sean McDermott and basically how he'd lost the team and you can't move forward with him. To see how they've kind of put their foot on the gas and been able to overcome really whatever obstacles they've had inside, and around the team or actually on the field on Sundays, they've really turned it up a notch.
Offensively, old man Leonard Fournette, here he is in the postseason again. Tom Brady loved him, and the Bills basically said, let's give Leonard Fournette a try. And James Cook, he dropped a touchdown pass for Buffalo. But he had a pretty nice game for the Bills against Miami. But there at the end in crunch time, it was Leonard Fournette they kept looking to.
Well, look, the fumbles for Cook have been an issue this year.
Yeah.
So, and you are in a win or go home, and you are a coach who'd, been on the hot seat here, and Sean McDermott, and all the pressure in the world on the Buffalo Bills to, get this thing cranked up here in the postseason. Trust is a big thing. You'll see quarterbacks who they trust in terms of getting the ball out to them, but I think you'll see coaches in terms of what back is on the field. Ball security is everything. So James Cook's a better player, obviously, than Leonard Fournette. He provides a lot more run and pass. But I'm curious to see if we don't see more of Leonard Fournette with the trust factor and a little bit of that thought in the back of your head of like, oh, gosh, Cook has had some fumbling issues, and that's the one thing that could do us in here.
Boy, this is a pretty good tight ends game, too.
Kincaid's been great as of late to go along with Dawson Knox.
Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, and then Freiermuth on the Pittsburgh side. You got some pretty good tight end play in this game.
Yeah, no, look, in this, again, it's hopefully it's going to be a fun, nasty weather game, cold, frigid run games, tight ends. You've got obviously Josh Allen. I put him in that rugged department. It's a rugged football game. It's a rugged atmosphere. It's the Steelers and the Bills. I mean, Leonard Fournette fits into that formula as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to be the more physical team. That's how Mike Tomlin's selling it, by the way.
Yeah.
He's selling it. They've got you can look at the talent and you can look at the momentum, all that crap. Who's the tougher team? And they pride themselves on that.
All right, it is the early Sunday CBS game in Buffalo right now at MyBookie.ag. Bills a 10-point favorite over the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mentioned MyBookie.ag. They bring you the show. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Use code next round to get that sign-on bonus. They give you a special sign-on bonus there. Win once with it. It is yours and yours forever. They're at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Also, don't forget that Manscaped code. Code DJF20, manscaped.com to get 20% off your initial order. Please give us a thumbs up. And make sure you subscribe to Disrupt the Media. We've got all the AFC and NFC games previewed right at the same exact place you're getting this video, at Disrupt the Media on YouTube. He is the NFL Network's Daniel Jeremiah, and this is DJ Football.